What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 32. Going to be talking some betting, some Draftkings, and some weigh-ins. I do have 7 bets right now. I'm looking at potentially maybe 1 or 2 more that are really sticking out. We'll talk about all of those. Like I said, we'll talk about the weigh-ins. The weigh-ins were very important. I did want to see some certain people weigh in, and we'll talk about that for sure. But yeah, coming off of a very good week last week, hopefully carry the momentum into this week. And yeah, excited for another card that is pretty good. We have lost 2 fights. We lost the Dawkins fight, which is moved to next week. And then we lost the Macy Chiasson versus Aspen Ladd fight, which is off due to, I believe, Macy Chiasson pulling out due to something. So we did lose 2 fights, but still 11-fight card. I feel like there's a lot of great fights on this card. And as you guys probably are, I'm ready to make some money. So what is up, everybody in the chat? Thank you for hanging out on a Friday, as always, at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. We have Johnny Picks, first one in the chat. Let's go. What's up, Brady? What is up, Johnny? Hopefully you are ready for this card. I think it's a very good one. Solid card, really solid card. I mean, compared to next week's card, which is a absolute crapshoot, I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one for sure because next week sucks. Next week's awful. I already started looking to that week or next card, and it's not great. So get ready for this one because this one is actually pretty good. We have Bill in the chat. It's Brady time. What is up, Bill? Tongued out chicken in the chat as well. What's up, Brady? Another interesting card. We should win some cash. I agree. I do think we can. 2020 in the chat. What's up? What is up to you? Let's go. Hit that like button. Let's make some money. I agree. Let's hit it. Goldie was jacked for sure. Probably the most jacked on the entire card. So let's cash the tickets. I agree. Let's get it, gentlemen. What is up, Spencer, in the chat? What's up, friends? Hope everyone is well. Hope you are well as well. Stellar. What's up? Let's do it. What's up, Buzz Saul? I'm just Drew in the chat. What's good, Brady? What is up? Ready to rumble as well. Hello from Australia. Hello from America from me. TJ Dillashaw is going to put a beat down on Sandhagen. Maybe. We'll definitely see. You unlock show tonight? Yes, sir. So I am going live on MMA Lock of the Night channel at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time with AJ Betts and with Liam Fight Picks and MMA Lock of the Night. It's a very good crew. Go check us out at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. I'll definitely be on there. Uncle Weezy in the chat. I believe Uncle Weezy's on a type of vacation. I believe he's on a golf trip. Shout out to Uncle Weezy. Hopefully your golf trip is going good, and hopefully you're not losing too many brain cells, man. Is the fight right now? No, it's not. No, the fight is tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, I will be going live 1 hour prior to the prelims, as always. Soriano lock, no. Everybody asks me, like, what's the lock of the week? And I usually don't have one, but there is one I do have a lot of confidence in this week. Minner over Elkins, Allen over Soriano, come on. Yep, I'm going the other way on both of those. If Goldie was smart, she would go for takedowns. Agreed. So before we get started, I do want to shout out the sponsor, Pub Sports Radio. Of course, on Sunday, me and Uncle Weezy go live on there every Sunday night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time, a new show called Stat Diggers. People really seem to like that. This week, it's going to be crazy because, believe it or not, we have 15 fights for next week. So me and Uncle Weasley definitely have our work cut out for us, especially him, because he's going to be golfing all weekend. So I do think he has most of that done already. So we'll definitely be prepared for Sunday, and it's going to be every Sunday from here on out. And then Tuesday, I do have my Draftkings show on Tuesday, and also looking to do something new on Tuesdays coming in the near future as well. Not going to announce that just yet. And as always, the guys go live every Saturday. I usually come on sometimes. Don't know if I'll be on this Saturday, but they go live, fight companion type thing, talking live betting, live commentary. It's always a good thing. So go check out Pub Sports Radio. The guys over there are awesome. And if you guys can, leave a like on the video. It's always much, much appreciated. And also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet, so you not miss out on other content throughout the week. We got Sean in the chat. Let's go, Brady. Let's go. You're the best. Appreciate that, Jason. You're the best, man. So we'll get to the first fight of the night here. We have Hannah Goldie versus Diana Balbita. And yes, it seems like everybody has a bet on Diana Balbita this week. And I honestly don't hate it at the price tag it was at. So I saw on BetMGM, it was plus 160 for the longest time. And I do not have BetMGM. If I did, I would have had that bet just like everybody else. So I saw it. It was like plus 132 Balbita. At that point, I ended up passing. But if you got in early at that plus 160, that was that. Yeah, great bet, especially considering where the line's at now, because Balbita is now a minus 120 favorite. So if you did get on early, good to you. If you did not get on early, I'd recommend passing. This fight is very, very sketchy. Balbita is somebody that definitely can drop the ball. She's 0-2 in the UFC. I remember being like the only one on her when she fought. I think it was Luana Jojua. I was like the only one picking Luana Jojua for the fact that how does Luana Jojua win fights? She wins them by submission. And how does Balbita lose fights? She loses them by submission. And what does Balbita do? She goes out there and takes down Luana Jojua, submitted. So in this fight, I didn't really think she'd have to be worried about that submission game of Goldie all that much. Goldie has 0 submissions on her record, but Goldie, I believe, just got her purple belt. Very, very scary, especially if you are backing Balbita. But again, if you got in the underdog price, I do think you're fine. I think the height, the reach is huge. I think she has like a 6.5, 7.5 reach advantage. As long as she doesn't make any mistakes, as long as there's like no armbar from guard, I do pick Balbita to win a decision. But where the line's at now, there is no way I would bet on Balbita, especially where the line's now. But again, if you got in early, congrats to you, beat the line movement. If I had that plus 160 available, you bet I'd have a bet on Balbita at plus 160, but I couldn't get it, and that's fine. But I'm going to pass here. As far as DK goes, I don't have much interest in this fight, to be honest. If anything, Balbita for an underdog price. But with that said, Goldie, she's kind of interesting. I don't have much of her, but Balbita, when she does lose fights, she does lose them by submission. Goldie, she is a purple belt. Maybe there is an armbar from guard type situation, but I think the most likely scenario is this does play it on the feet, and Balbita does win a close decision, probably not scoring well. So I typically do like targeting that first fight of the night, but for this fight, I think there's much better options, especially when you have Brendan Allen, Punahele Soriano right in between the fighters. So not much interest in this fight from a betting perspective. There's not even any props that I look at, to be honest. And from a DK perspective, again, not much interest. So this is a fight where I don't really care for it, to be honest. It's a fight, should be decent. As far as a pick, I'll go Balbita, I guess, but just not enough confidence to lay the money on Balbita in a fight that I really don't want anything to do with, especially seeing how jacked Goldie is. Oh my goodness. She is jacked to the max. I do not want to bet Balbita, especially because of that, but the 7.5-inch advantage of reach, I do think is pretty big. Brady, get on Colin England, plus 130 for next week's card. I have not looked into that yet. And he says, thank me later. Okay, I'll look into that one first thing tonight, man. We'll see what we got there. Thank you for putting that out there. I'm on Diana. Goldie can't do any takedowns that I have seen. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any takedowns as well. If anything, I kind of thought that Balbita would go for takedowns, but she gets submitted a lot. She gets submitted a ton. Goldie definitely looked bigger and stronger. Agreed. What's up, Vince in the chat? Brady Mob, what's up, Vince? Goldie all day. Yeah, I don't know. If you like Goldie, now is probably the time to bet her. I believe she's a dog on some books. Goldie is not good. I agree. I don't think either fighter is good, to be honest. Stay away from this fight. Could go either way. I agree. Could go either way. If you got the plus money, good on you. But I don't know. Hard to see Goldie not out muscling at least early. Yeah, she is jacked city. It's crazy. 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah, probably, especially at this point. If Goldie gets it down to the ground, she's going to control Balbita. She very well could. What is up, Chris? Been telling your bets for about a month now. Great content. Always been putting in the work. Look forward to your videos. Let's keep the wins rolling. Appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, I've been on a roll in the past month, so hopefully you are doing well. By submission. So Goldie by submission is plus 900. So she doesn't have a submission on her record. Of course, she only has like 5 or 6 fights. Purple belt and BJJ. Balbita gets submitted a ton. Not horrible. 102 eating here. Only 25 liking. Hit the like. I agree. Let's get those likes up. Everyone looked jacked. Yeah, a lot of people did look jacked. You were not wrong. But Goldie was jacked city. All right. So, yeah, don't care about that fight, really. We'll get to the next fight here. And this is a fight I do care about. Ciara Eubanks going against Elise Reed. And Ciara Eubanks is minus 375 and Reed is plus 310. So I do have a bet on this fight. I bet it about a week and a half ago. And I do have a 2.5 unit bet on Ciara Eubanks at minus 240. And I'll be honest, this would have been a max bet if there weren't question marks surrounding the weight cut of Ciara Eubanks. I thought that, hey, she's 36 years old. She's somebody that typically struggles to cut down to 135. And I was like, how is she going to make 125 pounds? So I did think the line was going to move tremendously as it has. And so I did put 2.5 units on it. And like I said, I almost would have been a max bet, but there were just some question marks for me to kind of stay away from max betting it. But I really like Eubanks here. And she made the weight. She looked really good on the scales. And I like that for sure. So I got in early here. And I might be looking at adding a little bit on Eubanks inside the distance here. I just think there's a huge gap in skill. I think there's a huge gap in size. Reed, somebody that, made her MMA debut at atomweight. She has a bunch of amateur fights at atomweight. She's fought at 115. She's coming up a weight class. You have Eubanks, who has fought at 135 a lot of her career, coming down a weight class. The size discrepancy is going to be crazy by fight time. And Eubanks, very good takedowns, very good BJJ black belt at BJJ, good striking, good power. Elise Reed can be taken down. I've seen her taken out multiple times. I've seen her put in some really bad spots on the map. And I think Eubanks has a very good chance to finish this fight. So I like Eubanks. Do I think the line's too wide where it's at now? Honestly, no, I don't. Honestly, no, I do not. I probably think it should probably be around like minus 500. There are just the concerns about the age, the gas tank, the weight cut for me. And now that those questions are answered, the weight cut at least is answered. I think that money probably still comes in on Eubanks. I've seen her on some books at minus 400, and I agree with that, to be honest. So I got in early there, beat the line movement tremendously, which I do like, but I might be looking at Eubanks inside the distance. So I know what you're going to say. No finishes in the UFC for Eubanks. She had a couple finishes on the Ultimate Fighter, a couple finishes earlier in her career. I believe she had a submission win on the Ultimate Fighter as well. And just seeing Reed get and put in so many bad positions, I think Eubanks is very live for a either submission or like an early grounded pound. So I might be looking at Eubanks inside the distance, which I don't love it. The bookmakers kind of caught on to it early. I thought we'd get definitely a better price on it because Eubanks, again, does not have any finish in the UFC, but they have Eubanks inside the distance plus 150. It's not terrible, but I might be looking at the sub prop, which on FanDuel Sportsbook, it is plus 500. Very good line there. I believe the KO prop was like plus 290. But yeah, I think Eubanks rolls here. I like her on DraftKings, 9,300. Takedown upside, control time upside, and finish upside as well. So pretty big on Eubanks. I have two big plays on this card. Need both of them to hit, and Eubanks is the first one there. So give me Eubanks for the win. I like it. I like it a lot. I really like a parlay with Maverick and Phillips. I'm picking them both to win, but I parlay Maverick, not really. Hey, DFS, I'm kissing myself. How about you? I am not kissing myself. Ciara looked kind of weird on the scales. She looked fine to me. Maverick is huge. Ciara is going to lose. Yeah, this is going to be Ciara's easiest fight in her UFC career by a mile. By a mile. I might catch the main event tonight. Reed doesn't look ready. He actually has 4 fights. She's 4-0. She's 4-0. The experience gap is just so crazy. Eubanks will be in her domain in this fight. I agree. Eubanks lock. I agree. Sarge via top control. I agree. Hard to justify 9,300 on DK though. I mean, I like it personally. I think she gets a ton of takedowns, a ton of control time, and a finish. But yeah, there are some other options out there like Yanez, like Kyler Phillips. I like them both as well. Eubanks is a solid parlay piece. I agree. Not parlaying her personally, but if I was to do a parlay, she'd be in it for sure. Eubanks lock. Eubanks, Yanez, Phillips parlay. I like all 3 of those for sure. Eubanks always looks weird because she looks like a dude. Hey, come on. Phillips, Minner, Maverick is my parlay. Good luck. I'm going the other way on the Minner part. I turned 6 units into 50 last week. Goodness. With a 4-part parlays from your picks. Thanks. No problem, dude. Congrats on your win. So yeah, I do like Eubanks quite a bit. I think she gets it done in a very dominant fashion. I read after this fight, I do think she'll probably go down to 115, her normal weight class, and we'll see who she gets matched up against. Eubanks, I'll probably look to fade her in the future because she's like 36 years old, almost 37. So, but I do like Eubanks here in this spot in particular. Next, we have Julio Arce going against Andre Yule. Fight where I think Arce wins this fight, but I think it's going to be very competitive, at least early. What I don't like about Yule is he does slow down as the fight goes on. Arce, of course, does not. So I do think Arce is going to kind of take over as the fight does go on. If he can mix in takedowns, I think that would be great. Typically, that's something you want to do against Andre Yule, but you kind of take a look at Arce in his career. Not really something he does all that much. I'd kind of recommend that here, but I think he does win this fight probably by decision. I do think it's going to be semi-competitive throughout the first round and a half, 2 rounds. I just think Arce is going to take over as the fight goes on. As far as DK goes, 9,100. I like Eubanks more. I like Yanez more. I like Phillips more. I like Sandhagen more. So I'm not going to have much Arce. And as far as Yule, I think he's a live dog for sure. It's just I don't see him finishing Arce, and I don't see him getting takedowns. I don't see him getting control time. If Yule wins, it's going to be a volume-based decision. And really, how much is that going to score? Probably not a lot at all. So for DK, this is going to be one of my lowest exposed fights. Definitely lower than even Goldie Balbita, probably. Both those fights I don't really like from DraftKings standpoint. As far as like a bet, I'm not touching Arce at minus 200. I think it's just a little bit too wide. Arce by decision, if anything, plus 125. But I think there are better spots on the card. So I do like Arce. I'll take Arce by decision, but minus 200, no, thank you. If you want to take the shot on Yule, don't hate it. Don't hate it. I think the fight will be, competitive. I think it'll be a competitive fight. So, but I do like Arce to get the win here. So give me Julio Arce for the decision win. Are the fights tonight? No, sir. They're on tomorrow. Been messing around in the chat. I like it. At least like 5 to 10 people at least every Friday are the fights tonight, and then same thing Saturday on my live stream. What time are the fights? Gotta be at least 10 people doing it. What's up, John? Let's go, Big Brain. You don't think Soriano has a huge physicality advantage? Are you talking to me? He was state champion wrestler. Don't understand why the line isn't near pick'em. I mean, I agree with all you're saying. Ewell's cheap. Cash, GPP, though. Yeah, I just don't think he scores enough, personally. Yeah, probably not a terrible cash game play for sure. He's here so you don't get fined. I like it. Why not Balbita and Goldie on DK? I just don't really see it scoring that well, to be honest. Brady, do you bet heavy like lock of the night? He claims to bet 250 and won 10,000 last week, and it's something like 2,500 to 50,000. Another bet. No, I do not bet that much. My unit size is $100. I might be, bumping that up a little bit in the near future, though. But yeah, I don't bet like 2,000 to win 50,000. No, I don't do that. Wait, are the fights tonight? There's bare knuckle fighting tonight, but no UFC fights. And yes, I will. I will more than likely watch that fight for sure. Ewell has been showing improvements. I agree. All right, so we'll get to the next fight here, and we have Jordan Williams going against Mickey Gall. And yeah, I like Williams here, and some things that I have seen is his takedown defense is very good. I want to say his takedown defense is sitting around 88%. You take a look at some of the things he's done on the regional scene. Again, very good at stuffing takedowns, and I like the volume. I like the toughness. He comes forward. He throws a ton of it. And I think it's a good matchup for him. I think Mickey Gall to have success in this fight is going to need to get this fight down to the mat, and I just don't see him doing it. Mickey Gall has improved his striking a little bit. It looked a lot better against Mike Perry. Then again, Mike Perry for that fight, I believe that was the fight where he said he didn't train at all. He said his training was like going on vacation or something, and that was when his girlfriend was in his corner. So kind of look into that a little bit, but I do think it's a solid matchup for Jordan Williams here, just keeping on the feet and a very good chance of maybe knocking out Mickey Gall. And a spot that I do like is going to be the under 2.5. I did not bet it yet because it looked like some money was coming in on that over. I'm not sure what the price is right now, but the under 2.5 really does interest me. We'll take a look at their finish rates here. So 89% finish rate for Jordan Williams, 78% by knockout, 11% by submission. And if Gall is able to get this fight down to the mat, he has an 83% submission rate for an 83% finish rate as a whole. So yeah, I really do like that under 2.5. Again, I have not bet that yet, but that was something I was really looking at, just kind of sitting back and waiting on the line though. So yeah, I don't hate that at all. Jordan Williams has been finished in half of his losses, 2 by knockout, 2 by decision, and Gall has been knocked out once as well by Diego Sanchez. So yeah, the under 2.5 is something I'm very looking at a ton. And then Jordan Williams on DK, I like a lot. Tons of volume, finish upside. I like it. Mickey Gall's not a terrible play on DK because if he does get this fight down to the mat, he will have a ton of success, I believe. But I think that's a pretty big if in this fight. So as far as a pick, I'll go Williams, but I'm kind of thinking violence here, but have not bet it yet. So I'll take Williams. Kind of like this fight on DK as well. It should be a very, very good fight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's your prediction for Paige versus Rachel Ostovich? I got Paige reading for Ostovich. I'll go Paige. I think she's like minus 400 though, which is crazy. Cool to see 116 here for this Boo Boo card. I mean, I like the card, but yeah, it's definitely cool to see 160 in here for sure. This card is 5 times better than last week's. I agree. I like this card better than last week's and next week's. I like Jordan Williams in this one. I agree. I think Jordan and Gall makes it to the cards. It could, but again, both are finishers. Both have been finished. Kind of thinking under personally. Jordan Williams, first round TKO. Don't hate it. What's up, Dante? Big Brady, great content as always. We appreciate that a ton. Williams Gall should be optimal. It could be. It could be. Williams first round KO. Don't hate it. Didn't Perry also dominate Gall? Yes, he did. He actually was able to take down Gall and control him on the mat, which definitely surprised me. Gall, the only one to beat CM Punk. Yes, he did beat CM Punk. Van Zandt to get parlay piece. Not something I do, but go for it. Do you think Williams can hang if Gall gets a takedown? I don't know, because Gall's very, very good on the mat. So the problem is I just don't see him getting it there. That's the problem. Mickey Gall was doing good against Perry, striking round 1. Yes, he was. But again, that wasn't the Mike Perry we all know and love. Jordan is a diabetic, yes, sir. So he didn't typically cut weight. They always talked about he wasn't able to cut weight, but he cut weight today, and he looked good doing it. So I think it's going to be fine. I think he's fine there. This card is really good. I agree. So we'll get to the next fight here. So now we have Ian Heinisch going against Nasruddin Imavov. And I do have a play in this fight. I have a parlay in this fight. I'll kind of go through the parlay right now. So I do have 1.25 units on Ian Heinisch parlayed with the under 2.5 rounds for Soriano Allen. I like this parlay. I like that they're fighting back-to-back as well. So just like last week with Lemos and D-Rod, I'll know right away whether I do cash this bet or not. So need Ian Heinisch to win here for that parlay. I got it at plus 152. And if you have DraftKings Sportsbook, man, they had the Soriano Allen line. I don't know if it's still there, but the under 2.5 rounds for Soriano Allen was minus 195 for some reason. If it's still there, I think that's a very, very, very solid spot, but I have not checked in a couple of days. So, but either way, I see this fight finishing or see Soriano Allen finishing. But, back to Heinisch and Imavov here. At first look, before getting to the tape, I kind of was like, hey, maybe we have a live dog on our hands with Imavov, because I kind of saw the Heinisch 18% takedown accuracy. I kind of thought, hey, if Imavov can stuff takedowns, keep it on the feet, it's going to be a very, very competitive fight. But you kind of take a look at who Ian Heinisch has fought throughout his career, and he's fought some very, very good competition. And we'll kind of take a look at it here. So yes, he has an 18% accuracy, but he does go for a ton of takedowns. He was 1 for 6 on takedowns against Kelvin Gastelum. No shame in that. He was 0 for 8 on takedowns against Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson has like a 94% takedown defense. He was 3 for 10 on takedowns against Omari Akhmedov, somebody with a good takedown defense. So you can kind of just take a look at some of the guys he's been fighting. Antonio Carlos Jr., a phenomenal grappler, Cesar Ferreira as well. And you kind of take a look at it, and this is going to be one of Heinisch's easiest fights of his entire career. He's been fighting some killers since he has gotten into the UFC. Cesar Ferreira, Antonio Carlos Jr., Derek Brunson, Omari Akhmedov, Gerald Mearshart, Kelvin Gastelum, and all these guys can grapple. All these guys have solid takedown defenses. And you take a look at Imavov, and he was taken down 4 times by Phil Haas. And in that fight, not only was he taken down 4 times, Phil Haas was able to control Imavov for a very concerning 11 minutes and 6 seconds. And he made Phil Haas look like he had some type of gas tank. And I know if Phil Haas did gas out, late in that third round, he almost finished him. But, Haas was still able to hold him against the cage for a while, take him down here and there. And Imavov really had no answer for it at all. So, yeah, I really like Heinisch here quite a bit. I think he can mix in the takedowns. And I think Imavov's path to victory is probably a knockout, which, hey, it could happen. But Ian Heinisch is very, very tough. He's never been knocked out in his career. I like that about him. And if Ian Heinisch decides, hey, I'm not going to go for takedowns for the first time in my career, it's going to be a very close fight. But you got to think that Ian Heinisch is going to do what Ian Heinisch does and makes this a very grindy fight. Pushes Imavov against the cage and takes him down early and often and wins minutes on the card. So I do think Heinisch wins this fight by decision. And like I said, outside of like an Imavov knockout, I think Heinisch does get it done. So I did parlay Heinisch with the Soriano Allen under 2.5. I think it was like plus 152. and I have 1.25 units on it. So really would like to hit that parlay starting with Ian Heinisch to get it done. On DK, yeah, I like Heinisch on DK as well, 8,500. He's going to get takedowns, a ton of them. He's going to get control time, a ton of it. And Imavov actually has a pretty good get-up game, but that's going to only equal more takedowns for Ian Heinisch. And you take a look at Imavov, even on the regional scene, this guy can be taken down. And yes, he can pop back up, but Heinisch is going to be relentless. He's going to keep taking you down and keep taking you down, and he's not going to stop. So I like Heinisch here. I think it's a good spot for him. I think it's one of the easier fights, to be honest, in his UFC career. Just taking a look through it, first look, I was like, hey, Imavov might be live, but taking a look at who Ian Heinisch has fought, it's just been a really good competition. So I do like Ian Heinisch, and I do have him in a parlay. Really do like that parlay there. So we got in the chat here. Imavov sucks. Heinisch should win. Potentially over 2.5 is not a bad play. I'm sure it's juiced to the max, but I'm sure it hits. Something is telling me Eon via grow man strength. Yeah, I agree. I have a feeling Imavov ruins everyone's parlay. Hey, I hope not. Hope not. But yeah, I think if Imavov wins, it's going to be by knockout, and Heinisch has never been knocked out. It's really tough to do. Ian should win. Imavov got controlled by zero cardio. Yeah, it looked like he made Phil Hawes look like he had cardio. He allowed Phil Hawes to win his first decision ever. So something to think about there. Eubanks is a lock. Yeah, I agree. Nothing's really a lock in MMA, but Eubanks is my most confident pick. We have a dono in the chat, Zayed. Appreciate that, man. Super sticker. Appreciate you for hanging out week in and week out. You are the man. I think Imavov will surprise a lot of people. I hope not. I think he won't get an opportunity to do so if Heinisch does fight smart. There's a parlay piece for me. Yeah, I mean, you could play him straight. The line's not terrible. Looks like some money is coming in on Heinisch. He is, what is he now? Minus 160. I think I parlayed him at like minus 150. Heinisch is going to have Imavov up and down, like even if he gassed in round 1. So we're the Parisian sniper grappling for the win. Yeah, I'm not really worried about Heinisch gassing, to be honest, but he could, especially if he does put on a wrestling heavy game plan. Neon is like better than Hawes in every area, outside of probably like power. I don't know how Imavov got this fight. Yeah, I don't know, but I do think Heinisch wins. Hawes was holding the cage for dear life in that fight. He did it like 5 times. Yep, he almost got knocked out like 5 times as well, right? What is up, Chris? How you doing? Everyone is so high on Heinisch. Why are his odds not higher? Why is Imavov showing strength in the odds? Well, some money is coming in on Heinisch, but yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Heinisch will finish Imavov. Just watch. I hope so. Bro, all the strikers beat him. Oh no, are you talking about Heinisch? Heinisch hasn't fought any strikers, dude. Take a look at his UFC career. He's fought looks like no strikers, to be honest. Top 3 dogs on the slate. I think Allen at 8,000 is a good dog. Randy Costa, good pump play as well, and Darren Elkins probably my top 3. Over 2.5. Yep. Yeah, massive step down in competition to say the least, really. To say the least. The parlay is Ian Heinisch parlayed with the under 2.5 for Soriano Brendan Allen, plus 152, 1.25 units on it. Good to see you, DFS. Good to see you as well. Who's the parlay buster tomorrow? I don't know. I do not know. Not the best card in the go for parlays, really. But I don't even know. Maybe Sandhagen. Maybe Julio Arce. Maybe one of those. All right, so we do have 201 in here. If you guys can all hit the like button, that'd be much, much appreciated. And also want to remind you that I will be doing a betting breakdown video coming out tomorrow, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll be recording that after this video, and then I'll be going live 1 hour prior to when the prelims start tomorrow. And if you do want some more content tonight, go check out MMA Lock of the Night's channel. I will be on there as well with AJ, Liam, and Locke. Pretty good panel of guys on there tonight. Can't wait to break it down with all of them and hear their thoughts on some of these fights as well. So that will be at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. All right, next we have, I believe this is the last fight before we do get on the main card. We have Punahele Soriano going against Brendan Allen. Soriano 8,200 on DraftKings, Brendan Allen 8,000. And yeah, this line has stayed a pick 'em all week. And finally, Soriano, his price tag moved to minus 125, minus 120 on some books. Kind of how I expected. So I did research this one a while ago, like 3 weeks ago. And I did place a 1.5 unit bet on Punahele Soriano, kind of thinking the line would move a lot more in his favor. But I kind of get it. Allen has fought the more fighters. He's more experienced. He's fought the better competition. So I kind of get that angle for sure. Punahele Soriano, cardio issues, all that good stuff. But I think it's a very solid matchup for Soriano here, and I think he's very live for a knockout early. So what really stuck out to me is Soriano. I'm sure everybody's heard it by now. D3, wrestled D3 in college. He was a state champion wrestler as well. He's a judo brown belt. He's training at a very good camp in Extreme Couture. I do think they're going to have him ready and prepared to stuff takedowns in this fight. And I think it's going to be very hard to take down Soriano. If you saw this guy on weigh-ins, this guy is huge. This guy is jacked. And, Allen, what really stuck out to me in the tape and in the stats especially, he has a 39% striking defense. You do not want to be hittable against Punahele Soriano. I'll tell you that right now. 39% striking defense is 100% not a good look. And kind of taking a look at it, I thought it was very interesting going through the career of Brendan Allen, at least in terms of the UFC career. And you kind of take a look at some of the guys he's taken down. And I mentioned this on my prediction video. Here are the guys that he has taken down. Carl Roberson, notorious for getting submitted. I believe he has like 4 or 5 submission losses at this point on his record, and a porous 45% takedown defense. And the other guy he took down in the UFC is one Kevin Holland. He's notorious for a horrible takedown defense, and it's sitting at 47%. So, fun fact, he has not taken down anybody with somebody better than a 50% takedown defense. And it was a weird skid. So he takes down Kevin Holland 2 times. And then in the next fight, Breeze, which did end very fast, Breeze, Dawkins, and Strickland, Brendan Allen has 0 takedowns. 0 takedowns. He only attempted 1. So he was 0 for 1 in those 3 fights, Strickland, Dawkins, and Breeze. And I thought that was very weird. And then he comes in the next fight against Carl Roberson, who again has no takedown defense or ground game, and he takes him down and he submits him with like 5 seconds to go. So yeah, I think, Soriano is going to have a lot of opportunities, at least early, to knock out Brendan Allen. I think he's going to hit him, and I think he's going to hit him very hard. And yeah, I do have a 1.5 unit bet on Soriano, minus 110. The line has moved a little bit. To be honest, I kind of expected to move a little bit more, but it is what it is. I get the side with Allen, potentially has better cardio, all that good stuff. Has fought the better competition, more experience. So I get that angle for sure. I just think that he's going to get hit hard, and I think he's going to go down. So if I was Allen, I do think he probably should shoot for takedowns, right away. It's just, will he have success getting Soriano down? That's the big question, because you take a look at the tape, and there is no footage of Punahele Soriano stuffing a takedown, at least in the UFC. On the regional scene, he stuffed a takedown here or there. On the regional scene, he was more so getting takedowns himself. Soriano is a beast wrestler offensively, but we don't know how his defensive wrestling is. We don't know how his takedown defense is. So I like Soriano. I have a bet on him, and then I also have the under 2.5 rounds in a parlay with Ian Heinisch. So I think this fight finishes one way or another. Either it's Soriano early or Allen late, but you kind of take a look at Allen in the UFC. The only fight that he went to the 3rd round in between Contender Series in the UFC, which is a 6-fight sample, he got dominated in that 3rd round against Kyle Dawkins. And Soriano, the only 3rd round we've ever seen him in, he dominated Jamie Pickett. And it was interesting in that 3rd round where I know Jamie Pickett's not that good. And Jamie Pickett, if he's not been cut yet, he will be soon. But it was kind of interesting to see that in the 3rd round against Jamie Pickett, Soriano actually outlanded Pickett 55-0 in total strikes. 55-0 in total strikes. Soriano completely dominated one way Jamie Pickett in that 3rd round. Again, Pickett completely different than Allen, but it was kind of cool to see a gasser, somebody that can only win in round 1, dominate a round 3. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. I like Soriano. If you want to opt for the inside the distance or the KO prop, that's fine with me. But I bet him like 3 weeks ago, thinking the line would move quite a bit. So yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. It's going to be a good fight. I have 100% exposure on this fight on DraftKings. What I did was go 50% Soriano, 50% Allen, and we'll see what happens. I think there's a finish. I think it scores very good. All right, so let's see what we got going on in the chat. The chat is moving. Really do appreciate you all hanging out on a Friday. Yeah, the chat is moving big time. All right. I'm going heavy on Soriano. Everyone like and subscribe. I agree. This got bumped up to the main. Oh, did it? Cool. Yeah, it should be on the main card regardless. Like, this fight's good. Puna all day. Don't want to say all day, but I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities here. Brendan Allen has a huge size advantage compared to Soriano in terms of height and reach. Yes. In terms of, thickness and muscle, no. Soriano is jacked city. This week's prelims is better than last week's main card. I kind of agree. Soriano can crack. Allen is hittable. Yes. Allen has pretty terrible fight IQ. I actually do agree with that. You took MMA Prediction Guru's job. I don't know what job you're referring to. Big exposure for me on Soriano at that salary. You have a lot of both, to be honest, but I am picking Soriano to win. Will Allen stand and bang with Strickland, or like with Strickland, he get knocked out, or will he just try to take him down over and over? He always stands too long. That's a recipe for disaster here. And yeah, shout out to Uncle Weez. He brought up a very good point in if Allen does choose to, wrestle Soriano right away and try to get him down right away and kind of be relentless with it because he does not want to strike with Soriano, which I don't really expect. But if he does do that and he's not successful in getting the fight down to the mat, that's really going to hurt the gas tank of Allen. And we talk about it a lot, me and Weezy. When you do go for takedowns and you're not successful with them, it's really going to hurt your gas tank. Yeah, Allen's very hittable, like very, very hittable. I like Brendan Allen, but his performance against Strickland was baffling. Yep, that did surprise a lot of people, including me. Carl Robertson blew the last fight, chased the heel hook on Allen. It got so, not smart. Allen had the shakes at the weigh-ins, not as bad as Mickey Gall, though. Allen was last to weigh in. Didn't look bad to me personally, but is D3 wrestling any good, though? Yes, it is. Since people keep stressing that about Soriano, yes, D3 is it's impressive. Brendan Allen does have good grappling, but not cardio to do it for 3 rounds. Yeah, exactly. Like, everybody's calling Soriano round 1 or bust. Everybody's calling Soriano a gasser, and he is. But take a look at Allen's fight with Dawkins, who, in my opinion, is not that great, and Dawkins dominated him in that 3rd round. So take that as you will. What's Soriano's power in the 2nd or 3rd? We don't really know. 100% Soriano. I kind of, split your exposure a little bit. Pickett sucked, but still good point. Yeah, he's not great. How is Soriano's gas tank? It's not good. Soriano outside the 1st round is not good. I mean, the one time we saw him, he looked good to me. He looked tired, but he was still winning the fight pretty dominantly. But he's a gasser. He is. Can't deny that, but I don't think Brendan Allen has the best gas tank himself. Allen will eat a Puna sandwich. Yes, I think so. Soriano KO easy. Allen is terribly low volume. You see Kai Kamaka is fighting soon. Yes, he's fighting next week. He's fighting against, who's that? Chavez next week? Yeah, so that should be a good fight. You should do Bare Knuckle Brady. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. That'd be fun. Bare Knuckle will be fun for sure. I haven't been on a live stream in a month. Well, welcome here today, Jeremy. Work sucks. Yes, it does. Low volume Allen will not pressure Soriano. Yeah, if he strikes with Soriano, he's going to more than likely get knocked out, but we'll see what happens. Good fight. Yep, it's 39%. Not a good recipe for sure. So, yeah, that's a really intriguing fight, Brendan Allen, Soriano. And, yeah, I mean, especially looking at the chat, a lot of people are on Soriano, and I've seen a ton of love for Soriano in general. And it was kind of weird to me that the line was like sitting at -110 all week up until recently, where the line has moved a little bit. All right, next we'll get to the people's main event. We have Adrian Yanez going against Randy Costa, and I do have a play here. And I have 2 units on the fight doesn't go to decision at -110. That line is now -280. So definitely beat some line movement there. And yeah, I forget what book it was. I think it was DraftKings Sportsbook, where for some reason they had the under 2.5 rounds for Yanez and Costa at -175. I don't know if it's still there, but if it is, that's really good look. I probably would have bet that over the fight doesn't go to decision, but And there's another book that had it as well. I forget the other book. But either way, if you can get the under 2.5 rounds at like minus 175, that's probably definitely the look. For me, I just went with the fight doesn't go to decision. I think this fight does finish one way or another. Fun fact, if you add up Randy Costa's entire career, it still is not enough to go over 2.5 rounds. Another fun fact, Randy Costa has never seen the over 1.5 mark. Another fun fact, he's never seen the third round or decision. And there's just a lot of question marks with Randy Costa. And what happens if this fight gets extended? What happens if it gets to the second round, the third round? Because the one time we have seen that happen, he gassed out very bad, and he did get finished by Brandon Davis. So I'm going to pick Yanez in this fight, but Costa is going to be very live, at least early. The guy is very dangerous. He's a finisher. Obviously, has finished all of his wins. He's been finishing all of his losses. But instead of laying the minus 225 on Yanez, which a lot of people are doing, a lot of people have him parlayed and all that good stuff, which I do think he wins. But I do like the fight doesn't go to decision better. I like the under 2.5 rounds better as well. And like I said, I did put 2 units on the fight doesn't go at minus 210 there. So as far as DK goes, I have a ton of exposure to this fight. I think Yanez is very live for a finish really in any round, first, second, or third. And I think Costa is live for a finish probably in the first round if it does happen. But yeah, I think Costa, there's not many great pump plays down there. I mean, you have Andre Yule, which he could win, but does it score well? Probably not. You have Elise Reed down there. Is she going to win? No. You have Rolian Paiva down there. Is he going to win? Probably not. So if I was to like have a favorite pundit, it's clearly Randy Costa. It's just I am more on the Yanez side personally because of those question marks with Costa if this fight does get extended. But this fight's going to be a war. It's going to be fun. And I think someone's going to sleep. I see a lot of people doing the violence parlay of Costa, Yanez, fight doesn't go, parlayed with Soriano, Allen, fight doesn't go, maybe parlaying up the under 2.5 rounds. I think that's very solid. But yeah, I'm expecting violence here, as probably is most people. This fight probably does finish one way or another. Costa early, Yanez late. Instead of betting a winner, I do like the fight doesn't go. So hopefully that hits, and especially on DraftKings, I'll have a ton of exposure on this fight because you kind of got to. What is your split exposure? Something like, I went 50-50. I went 50-50 right down the middle in the 150 max. Allen getting flashbacks of Sean Strickland. He could. Costa is so much bigger than Yanez. Yes, he does have a little bit of a size advantage. Bro, Allen is chinny. I want to say he's chinny, but he gets hit so cleanly. Kind of shook here. Costa's bigger than I thought. Yeah, he is big. Yanez Costa under 2.5 is minus 195 still on a DK Sportsbook. Yeah, so I saw it at minus 175 earlier in the week. It's now minus 195. There you go. Brady, what do you like better, Dr. Pepper or Reese's? Don't really eat or drink either. If I had to pick one, I'd go Reese's because I do not drink pop. Live bet Yanez after round 1. You could. Yanez no distance with Allen no distance plus 107. Beautiful. I like it. If I wasn't already so invested to the Allen Soriano fight, I probably would add that on there. I have Yanez inside the distance. There you go. Yanez is legit. I agree. Sup, my dudes? Been a long time. What is up, NRAD? How you doing? Pop, soda, whatever you want to call it. I don't like it. If Costa doesn't finish quick, oh my god, I can't read that, Dan. Come on, you're crazy. Dan's always come with the Dan's a funny guy. Dan is a very funny guy. Always support and appreciate you, Dan, but I cannot read that one for you, dude. All right, so we'll get to the next fight. We have Miranda Maverick going against Macy Barber. It seems like everybody has a play on Miranda Maverick. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be close. I'm kind of sketched out about it a little bit, especially seeing Barber at the weigh-ins. Barber looked very good. She looked mean. She looked mad. At the weigh-ins. And I like Maverick here. I'm picking her as far as a pick goes, but I really don't like the line all that much. I feel like it's going to be competitive. Maverick, if she can't get this fight down to the mat, I think she'll have a lot of success. It's just Barber, very good takedown defense, very, very strong. I believe her takedown defense is sitting at like 80%. The one time she was taken down was against Roxanne Modafferi, but she was injured in that fight very early. And if it does stay standing, I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. I really don't think Maverick's going to look like minus 160, minus 170. But I will still slightly favor Maverick to win this fight. Tons of volume, great cardio. And if she can mix in those takedowns, which I am expecting her to do, I think she'll have success. But I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch the minus 155. I wish everybody luck that is on Maverick. It seems like a lot of the public is on the Maverick side. I see a lot of really sharp guys on the Barber side, which definitely makes sense. I do think Maverick's getting overhyped in this spot, but I know you can't deny the improvement she's been making each and every fight. Maverick is looking better and better each and every fight. And I know she's fought Luana Jujua, who's not good. She's fought Jillian Robertson, who's not good. But you just see her striking, be so much improved. Like, go back and watch some of her fights prior to the UFC. Her striking's not great. She has a lot of holes in her game, but she's definitely patching up those holes, and her striking's looking a ton better. So I do expect to see the best Miranda Maverick we've ever seen. I do expect to see the best Macy Barber we've ever seen. And I don't know. And, Macy Barber opened up minus 210. That's crazy. That's crazy. And the line completely got flipped, as it probably should have. And, I'll take Maverick here. Just no play for me. I don't even want to look at any of the props. I don't want to look at the totals. I don't want to look at anything. I'm going to sit back and watch this fight. It seems like everybody has a bet on this fight one way or another. Personally, if I was betting it probably would be dog or pass. But in terms of like a pure pick, I got to go Maverick just because she has those takedowns upside. She has the grappling upside. And even in terms of like DraftKings, she has takedown upside, grappling upside, control time upside. But yeah, I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight. I think it does score well on DK as well. Maverick's definitely somebody I'm looking at on DK for sure for the takedown upside. But yeah, kind of a very tricky fight to call. I'll take Maverick, but to be honest, not feeling good about it, especially after seeing the weigh-ins and seeing how good Barber did look. So Brady, pretty much the same picks besides the Hawaiian powerhouse Puna. There you go. If Barber gets on top, it's over. Kind of disagree with that. Maverick's a very good grappler. She could get on top, but Maverick's a very good grappler. Barber going to surprise everyone. She very well could. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me personally. Sorry, brother. Rental advisory should be forthcoming. Yes, sir. Miranda Maverick, the new future. Yep. Barber loves to punch air. Yep, she did last fight for sure. Was not a good look at all. But she was coming off of a layoff. She was coming off of major injuries, so got to take that into consideration a little bit. Barber OnlyFans after this fight. Nah, she's young. She has time. Violence bet here. Interesting. I mean, both fighters are good finishers. Both fighters have never been finished, but just because they've never been finished doesn't mean it couldn't happen, right? So yeah, the under. Well, the fight doesn't go as plus 150. The under, I'm assuming, is like plus 170, plus 175. Not horrible, just because both fighters are capable of finishing. But yeah, I mean, not for me personally. Yeah, I think it scores pretty high. I think there's going to be a lot of volume. I think it's going to be a high-paced fight, especially with takedowns mixed in. You see, is the original overhype. Agree. Bet on the uglier girl, Maverick. Yeah, that's typically how it goes. Maverick is a level above her, in my opinion. Yeah, kind of disagree, to be honest. I'm taking Barber based on her training with Team Alpha Male. Maybe she improved. Well, you got to imagine she improved. She's so young. You don't know MMA if you think Barber wins. Yeah, I kind of disagree with that, although I'm picking Maverick. They both seem tough. Yeah, they're both very tough. Never been finished. With you, Brady, on the Maverick, one of the toughest fights on the card to bet or play fantasy. Yeah. Tough fight to call. 2 losses against Rofer Barber, back against the wall. But yeah, one of those fights was against Roxanne where she did get hurt. And the other fight was against Alexa Grasso, very good fighter there. But yeah, I'll go Maverick. Bet fight goes the distance. Not for me, but if you'd like to, I think it probably does go the distance. What's up, Davey? Thanks, Brady, for all the quality opinion options. You helped me cash a few times. Appreciate that. Appreciate you hanging out. Which pump plays do you like besides Costa? Really none. I mean, you have much down there. Yule, Paiva, Reed. There's not much down there at all. Hey, Brady. Hey, how's it going? I'm taking Barber because Wood bang 10 out of 10. There you go. Barber has been training with Sarah McMahon on wrestling. There you go. Yeah. What is more likely to go the distance? Maverick, Barber, or Heinisch, Imavov? Probably Heinisch, Imavov. But I think they both do. Barber will balloon my parlays, maybe. You got a list of over and unders? No, I'm probably going to add those soon, though. Hurt is still an L. Ask Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley thinks it's not an L, so we can't ask him. Barber by decision, plus 450 or unanimous decision. It's tempting after the weigh-ins. It could be, but I'm not touching this fight, man. I don't want anything to do with it personally. I have other spots on the card that I like more, and just don't want to get involved with this fight. I'll let other people bet on Maverick or bet on Barber. Best of luck to everybody that does have a bet on the fight, but it's just not for me personally. All right, next we have a very exciting fight. Darrick Minner going against Darren Elkins. And yeah, I actually have two bets here, and I'm thinking violence, as you probably should with a Darrick Minner fight. I did post a tweet a couple days ago in regards to Darrick Minner and his finished stats, and they're crazy. 89% finish rate for Darrick Minner, 85% by submission. I forget the exact number, but it was like something like 22, 23 finishes in the first round, which is insane. And he has been finished a massive 10 times. He's been finished 10 times, 8 times by submission, 2 times by knockout, only lost by decision 1 time. Darren Elkins, solid finisher in his own right, 52% finish rate, has been finished by knockout 3 times, been finished by submission once as well. So what I did do is we talked about it, me and Uncle Weezy on Stat Diggers, like this is a great opportunity for a violence bet. And the bookmakers, for some reason, I think it was serious recency biased in Darrick Minner going to decision in his last fight against Charles Rosa. And it was weird because not only do we never see Minner going to decision ever, we never see Minner winning a decision ever. I mean, he's done it 2 times, I believe, 2 other times in his career, but typically it's either round 1 sub or he gets submitted if he does not get that round 1 sub. That's typically how Minner fights go. He's kill or be killed. But in his last fight against Charles Rosa, he did show some improved cardio, but you got to kind of take a look at it as the fact that, Charles Rosa, he's content to, stay on his back. Charles Rosa, I believe he has like a 45% takedown defense. Somebody commented this on my video, and I think it's a really good point. Charles Rosa made Justin James look like he had cardio. Charles Rosa lost a 3rd round to Justin James. Think about that, think about it. So Minner is going to do the complete opposite of what Charles Rosa did. Minner is hard to hold down. He's going to make you work. He's going to get takedowns himself. And I don't think Minner is going to keep up with the pace. Sure, Minner is very live for a first round finish, but if he does not get that first round finish, I think he's going to gas out. So as far as a pick, I'll go Elkins. To be honest, I was really tempted in betting the plus money, but I think the better option is going to be the under 2.5 rounds. I got it at plus 145. It opened at plus 160. I did miss that line, but I got it at plus 145. I have 1 unit on that. And then I also sprinkled the 3rd round prop for Elkins, plus 1,800, 0.25 units on that. I think I saw like plus 1,700 on 5 dimes. On DraftKings Sportsbook, it was plus 1,800. I'm not sure if it's still there, but Elkins, he does have, I think, like 2 or 3 3rd round finishes in the UFC. And Minner, if he does not get the early finish, I do think he's going to gas out, and I don't think he's going to keep up with the Elkins pace. So, everybody's on Minner this week, at least that I've seen. I've seen some guys on Elkins, some really sharp guys on Elkins taking the dog money, but I've seen a lot of the public on the Minner side, and I think that's because of the recency bias of the last fight. Where Minner looked like he had cardio for once. For the one time in his career, it looked like he had some type of cardio, but you got to kind of take a look deeper into the matchup and see that, hey, Charles Rosa has an awful takedown defense. Hey, Charles Rosa is content to lay on his back for 15 minutes. So, I like Elkins. I like him as a dog on DK. Minner, you got to have exposure because if he does win, there's a good chance it's in the first round, but I think the best option is going to be the violence bet, the under 2.5. And I also did sprinkle that Elkins round 3. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Puna Allen inside the distance. Yes, sir. I know you got here late, but I do have that under 2.5 in a parlay. Charles Rosa is so garbage. Yeah, he's not great. Not great. Minner versus Elkins, toughest fight to call, mostly because Minner's last fight. Yep, but kind of got to look past the last fight. Got to look more into just the last fight, you know? This is Elkins all day. Kind of agree. I mean, the only problem is Elkins is 37 years old. He's taken a ton of damage. Minner's very live in the first round. It's just what happens if he gets out of the first round. Elkins is impossible to submit. Last time was 10 years ago against Oliveira. Yep. Can we all agree that the first two fights on the card are going the distance? Yep. No, I don't agree. Actually, I think Eubanks finishes. The first fight, yeah, I do think it does. Ryan Hall handled Elkins. Yes, he did. Ryan Hall did knock him down twice. Elkins via terrible tattoo, could be. Bad stylistic matchup for Minner. Yeah, I agree. Fighting decision minus 130. I like it. I think there's a ton of recency bias with the last fight against Rosa. Rosa's not a zombie like Elkins. Minner won't be able to cruise. He will not be able to cruise. He won't, Elkins won't let him cruise. He's going to make him work. So we'll see what happens. Elkins likes to throw takedowns, go for takedowns, attempted 21 in his last fight. Might be favorable for Minner. Yeah, it could be. If he does that, he's going to be live to get submitted. But if he does not, Elkins probably wins. Elkins second round knockout. I'm hoping a third round. But I do think he finishes this fight. All right, so we'll get to the co-main event. Was supposed to be Maisie Chazon going against Aspen Ladd, but now it's Kyler Phillips holding on Paiva. And yeah, I like Phillips here quite a bit. This was something I bet like 3 weeks ago, and I got Kyler Phillips at minus 215, and I have 2.5 units on it. I guess BetOnline opened Phillips at minus 150, and then FanDuel Sportsbook opened Kyler Phillips at minus 188. So did miss out on those. By the time I came around to looking at this matchup, I saw Phillips at minus 215, and I did jump on it right then and there. So, yeah, some very important things to mention. Paiva is coming up to 135, which I do think is going to benefit him. But you kind of take a look at it in his career in the UFC. He has benefited from fighting guys that are a lot smaller from him. So, yes, it's going to benefit him in terms of he's not going to have to cut that weight. It's just how is he going to fare against guys that are kind of his size, like Kyler Phillips. And you take a look at Julian Paiva, something that stuck out to me right away is this guy's very hittable. He lands 4.46 significant strikes per minute. He absorbs 4.89, which is a negative significant strike differential, which you never like to see. And he has a 51% striking defense. Another thing is the takedown defense of Paiva, which on paper it's very, very good, 80%. But you kind of take a look at who's taking him down. And he's been taken down in every single UFC and Contender Series fight combined outside of Mark De La Rosa. Like Nascimento took him down in the Contender Series. Kaikar France took him down 2 times. Bontorin took him down 2 times in that first round. Zagasumagulov took him down 2 times. The only fighter that did not take him down was Mark De La Rosa, who has a 13% takedown accuracy and who has since then been cut from the UFC. But, when you're getting outstruck by Mark De La Rosa in the first round, yes, I'm not making that up in terms of the numbers. Paiva really did get outstruck by Mark De La Rosa in the first round, which is extremely concerning. 22 significant strikes for Mark De La Rosa to 19 for Paiva in that first round. He did knock out Mark De La Rosa in that second round, but really, how impressive is that? And then his last fight against Zagasumagulov, he actually gets outlanded, I believe, every single round. I think he Zalgas outlanded him in every single round. Let's double check. Zalgas did get outlanded 21-19. Paiva had 21. Zalgas had 19 in that first round. Zalgas did get a takedown, though, 12 seconds control time. Second round, Zalgas outlanded Paiva 27-16, and Zalgas even mixed in a takedown as well. And then in the third round, Zalgas outlanded Paiva 20-15 over 5 on takedowns. So I personally thought Zagasumagulov won that fight. And yeah, I mean, I like Phillips here. You take a look at Phillips; he's so well-rounded, great striker, good wrestler. Black belt in BJJ, as is Paiva. But if you're getting taken down by 5'4" Zumagulov, if you're getting taken down by Bontorin's a very good wrestler, but Bontorin, I believe he's 5'5". You're getting taken down by a striker in Kaikar France, 5'4". You bet that Kyler Phillips is going to take him down if he needs to. And I do think he will take him down. I think the striking will be competitive at least late, but I think early, like Phillips is going to have a ton of success. Phillips is going to have the striking advantage. I think he's going to have the wrestling advantage. Paiva coming up a weight class. He's not going to be used to fighting a guy that is 5'8", and pretty look pretty strong at the weigh-ins, especially after he's going to fill out tomorrow. Yeah, I like Phillips here quite a bit. And a lot of people are saying the line is off. I see like a ton of takes on the line is off. And as somebody that does have a bet on Kyler Phillips, I thought like the minus 300 was getting a little bit crazy. And I do think what is it at now? Minus 280 is still probably a little bit off. But to be honest, I don't think it's all that far off. So I got in on Phillips early. I like the bet. If you do like Paiva by decision, plus 450 is probably the way to go. Paiva, not really a finisher. 35% finish rate. His only finish in the UFC is against Mark De La Rosa. And Phillips has never been finished. But yeah, I like Phillips here. Quite unless like Phillips like really gasses out. I mean, I think Phillips does take those first rounds pretty handily, and then maybe cruises to in the third round like he did in the last fight. But yeah, I like Phillips. But yeah, a lot of really sharp guys on Paiva. I think they're kind of playing the percentage game, kind of playing maybe the lines off a little bit, and I get it, but to be honest, for me personally, I don't think the line is. I think it's off, but not off by that much. At the house on Minner, Ian Phillips. Thank me Saturday night. Okay, I'll look into that. Paiva looked a lot bigger than I thought he would. Really? I mean, he's 5'8". Both guys are 5'8". Paiva was bigger than Kyler in terms of height, maybe slightly, but in terms of like thickness, nah. Phillips Barberena parlay. I would not parlay Barberena. Paiva has no shot. I think he has like a shot, but I'm just not as confident as other people. A lot of cappers on Paiva. Clint, Law. Yeah, the majority of cappers look like they're on Paiva, which again, maybe now the line might be a little bit off. Look at the decision odds for Kyler. G's. Yep, minus 110. Yep, Kyler by decision minus 110. Is all the value gone on Phillips line? Do you think he's a parlay piece? I'd parlay him personally. I don't have him parlayed, but if I was doing a parlay between two fighters, I probably would have him in there with Eubanks probably. People forgetting that Phillips improves every fight. Yeah, massive improvements, man. Like Phillips fight by fight. I mean, he's improving massively. And we got to remember that Paiva's taken this fight on short notice as well. Phillips versus Paiva is the new co-main. Who do you think the UFC is trying to build? Maybe both guys, because if Paiva loses, his stock's not going to go down. Yeah, I mean, that's what really opened my eyes about Phillips. Like I thought, maybe this guy's a little bit overhyped. He hasn't really fought anybody of note, but him beating Song Yadong, somebody that I'm high on, that really did open my eyes there. Phillips is good, but wasn't impressed with Yadong. Yeah, Yadong did not look great in that fight. Yadong is pretty legit. Yeah, I think is good. Yeah, Yadong's fighting Casey Kenny. That should be a good fight. Phillips is James Krause's lock. I love to hear that. James Krause is a wizard at breaking down and predicting fights. So I'm glad I'm on the same side as Mr. James Krause. Costa Maverick. I'm picking her to win. Not betting it. Sign for Brady's Patreon. Yep, yes, sir. Lots of great stuff on there for sure. We beat a ton of line movement this week. We killed it, man. So glad about that for sure. Thoughts of Paiva or thoughts of the Phillips fight going under at plus 189. So yeah, so Paiva has been finished once by knockout, once by sub. The submission loss was a while ago. The knockout loss was a cut stoppage. Phillips never finished in his career. Paiva, not much of a finisher. I wouldn't really touch it. If anything, maybe take a stab at Phillips inside the distance, which is plus 250. I just don't see Paiva finishing Phillips. So with Kyler, oh, by the way, appreciate the donation, Derek. Appreciate that a ton. So with Kyler, who's your favorite 9K and up? If I had to rank them, I'd go Eubanks, Yanez, and then Kyler. James, I bet who I think will win. Krause, yeah. Yep. There you go. All right, so we'll get to the main event. Before we do so, do want to point out that I will be going live with MMA Lock of the Night and AJ and Liam at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Come over there, hang out, support. 1 hour before the prelims on tomorrow. Don't know when the prelims start, but I just know I'll be going 1 hour prior to when the prelims start. If you guys can leave a like, also subscribe, that'd be much, much appreciated. Have a lot of people in here tonight. Appreciate y'all hanging out. And I say we talk about the main event a little bit. So, yeah, so me and Weezy broke this down. We went, did a deep dive on this one, and it's a hard fight to call because there are just so many question marks. TJ Dillashaw, like a 2.5 year layoff. coming off of a PED suspension. He's now a 35-year-old bantamweight, something you really don't like to see. And Corey Sandhagen's been looking amazing. And you know, minus 200 now, like I really do think this line's, you know, quite off. Like if TJ Dillashaw shows up like he did, and looks like he did in like 2007, 2018, this is going to be a very, very competitive fight, especially looking at the fact that Sandhagen has like a 50, not even, no, he's a 30. He's a 30% takedown defense, Corey Sandhagen. And what is TJ Dillashaw really good at? He's a good wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He's a good grappler. So if Dillashaw does come in here with the game plan of, hey, I'm going to take down Sandhagen early and often, man, this could be a very competitive fight. So yeah, the line keeps moving, which is very interesting. So I'm going to pick Sandhagen because of the question marks on Dillashaw, because Sandhagen's been much more active, because Dillashaw is now a 36 or 35-year-old bantamweight. Dillashaw is coming off a massive layoff, a PED suspension. So with those question marks in mind, I'll pick Sandhagen. But man, if Dillashaw shows up and it's Dillashaw of old, this fight is going to be close. It's going to be a very close fight. So yeah, I think the line's way off, minus 200, and it's still going too. So if anything, from a betting perspective, it's dog or pass. But yeah, I don't have a bet on this fight. I know people like having action on the main event, and I will not have action on the main event. If anything, I'd probably take a shot on Dillashaw at this point, like plus 170. It just seems off. It seems off. But again, there's those question marks around Dillashaw where it's really hard to get there. It's really hard to get there. So I'll take Sandhagen as far as like a pure pick to win because of those red flags of Dillashaw. But from a betting perspective, I'd be looking dog or pass here at that price tag. Even like any props, I'm not really interested in. Yeah, I don't want to bet this fight. I'm gonna sit back and watch it more than likely. But yeah, as far as DK goes, I actually have more Dillashaw than Sandhagen on DK just because of the price. I think Dillashaw on 7,400 is pretty crazy. And again, if he wins, it's going to be based off a ton of takedowns, control time, even a ton of output as well, potential finish. So I actually have more Dillashaw ownership than Sandhagen, but I have a lot of Sandhagen as well. I think I went like 55-45 in favor of Dillashaw because of the price tag, because you can go up and get your Eubanks, you can go up and get your Yanez. But yeah, it's a really good fight. I'm looking forward to it, but I just don't know how anybody could be confident in Sandhagen at minus 200 with all those question marks, you know? But I'll pick Sandhagen in terms of like a pure pick, though. So would you guys have it in the chat? Paiva and Phillips are very much equally sized. Yeah, kind of as expected, you know? Paiva is somebody that's huge for 125. So I definitely expected that. I don't think TGS fought anyone as big as Corey. Yeah, Corey looked huge. Corey looked huge at the weigh-ins. Cheetah Shaw looked ripped. Yes, he did. Sandhagen by decision. Corey's so much taller with those long legs for the outside attack. Great knees and IQ. Yeah, Corey's a beast. Corey's definitely a beast. Lineker lost last guy to get taken down by TJ. And you are right about that. But take a look at who TJ fought after Lineker, which in that Lineker fight was in 2016. Cody Garbrandt, not just once, but twice. And Cody Garbrandt, somebody that typically has a very good takedown defense and a get-up game. He took Cody down 0 times, but both those fights did end early. And then Henry Cejudo, which you're not taking down Henry Cejudo, 93% takedown defense. So if I was Dillashaw, I would be taking down Sandhagen early and often. Sandhagen first round KO, potentially. Yeah, same here. Not betting it. Going to be a great fight though. Phillips is a lot wider than Paiva. Yeah, he's much more thicker, you know, and especially after he's going to fill out come tomorrow, he's going to be much bigger. He's not going to be like a 5'3" Sumit. He's not going to be a 5'5" Mark De La Rosa or like a 5'5", 5'4" Kai Kara France. He's going to be a legit 135er. So we'll see. You can get the under or over and under at 2.5 at basically pick 'em odds. You leaning one way or another? Nope. No lean, really. No lean, really. I'm sold on Costa after seeing the size difference. Yep, size difference is pretty big. Let me see here. Who was the last person Dillashaw lost to outside of Cejudo? Could jump right back into contention with a big fight here. The last person that he lost to was Dominic Cruz back in 2016, and that was a split decision loss. Dillashaw decision. 1 unit on Sandman. People forget TJ saved by the bell in the first Cody fight. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Good show. Just found it. Just hit the like button. Appreciate that. Got here a bit late. Anything off or any adjustments you made from the weigh-ins today? Did Arce look okay at the weigh-ins? Arce did look okay. Not really any adjustments, but I did want to see Jordan Williams and I wanted to see Eubanks weigh in, and both of them did pass the test. Brady, do you like Minter by sub? Yeah, I think that's how he wins. It seems recency bias not finishing Rosa, but Charles Jiu-Jitsu is on point. Yep, Charles is very, very hard to submit. I feel like all of Derek wins come by sub, and Elkins is only a brown belt. Yeah, so if Minter does win, I do think it will be by submission, which Minter by sub is plus 375, not terrible. What do you think of Dillashaw unanimous decision plus 900? Yeah, I don't know. If you want to take a shot, you can. But yeah, I'll quickly go over my bets. And remember, I'll be doing a betting breakdown tomorrow. I'm about to record that. Hopefully, get it done before lock show. I want to be on time there. Kyler Phillips, minus 215, 2.5 units on it. Punahele Soriano, minus 110, 1.5 units on it. CR Eubanks, minus 240, 2.5 units on it. Darren Elkins versus Derek Minter, under 2.5 rounds, plus 145, 1 unit on it. Elkins, Minter. Elkins wins in round 3, plus 1,800, 0.25 units on it. Costa Yanez, fight doesn't go to decision, minus 210, 2 units on it. And then my parlay of Heinisch, parlayed with Soriano Allen, under 2.5 rounds, 1.25 units, plus 152. The spots that I'm kind of considering is going to be Jordan Williams, Mickey Gall, under 2.5 rounds, and then a potential violence bet for CR Eubanks. So those are kind of the 2 spots I'm looking at. I don't know if I'll get there or not, but you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. I'll be posting my final bets sometime tomorrow. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for hanging out on a Friday. Again, go tune into Lock Show at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Also want to shout out the sponsor one more time, Pub Sports Radio. Go head over there. Tomorrow they will be going live for the fights, live betting, live commentary, all the good stuff. Lots of great guys over there. And yeah, that's about it, guys. And good luck. Thoughts on going 100% in the Yanez Costa fight? I don't know if I'm 100%, but I'm pretty close. Don't know my ownership. I don't have it pulled up. Thanks, Brady, for the stream. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, man. 1 hour prior to the prelims. See you tomorrow on that live stream. Hey, we got Doge in the chat. What's up, Doge? How you doing? You're set, man. Follow back Brady on, what are we following it back on? Twitter? Send me a DM. Send me a DM. I'll follow you back. All right, guys, that's about it. And good luck for UFC Vegas 32. Let's win some money, guys.